today I thought I would give a rundown of my top 10 favourite British TV shows. Don't get me wrong, I watch a lot of TV and a lot of it is American because American TV is good, it's very funny, but I just wanted to do a British list of the best shows that I like to watch. Don't get me wrong, some people disagree. People from England and in the UK will probably disagree with me and say, well, I don't think that's a very good show. Actually, you forgot about this. This is my list, okay? Hannah's favourite, Hannah's top 10. EastEnders. I don't care, this is probably going to be one of the ones that people are like, what? Seriously? It's a cultural icon of a show. Come on. Most people have heard of EastEnders, especially in the UK. EastEnders, Coronation Street are the two biggest soaps, as we call them in the UK, that we have. EastEnders is my favourite, probably because it's about London and the East End, and I find it great. Yes, it's completely over-dramatised. Yes, a lot of it is very unrealistic and unlifelike, but that's why I love it so much. If you can't have a little bit of drama in everyday life, what can you have? So EastEnders, for me, is one of my favourite shows. I always catch up on it. It's great. Number 9 is Blackadder, a fantastically historical show. This one's quite old now. I think it was made in the 80s, so probably approaching or over 30 years old now, but it's just so funny and they cover lots of different periods of history, so it's a very good show to watch if you want to watch a historical programme and learn, but also want to have fun. It's like Horrible Histories, but just more for adults, so, you know, I'm happy. Number 8 is Blue Planet, or anything with David Attenborough. I love nature documentaries. Nature programmes are really, really good, and there are some fantastic documentaries from around the world, on National Geographic, for example. But David Attenborough is a national treasure in the UK. I don't think I've ever met anybody who dislikes David Attenborough. When he goes, one day, hopefully never, I genuinely think there will be a day of national mourning for this man. Because he cares, you know, like, he really cares about the environment and the creatures that he is talking about, and that makes you care. Especially in Blue Planet, in regards to the landscape it being amazing. It shows you the sea, under the sea, and just things I've never experienced before. So it's amazing to see, even if it's just through a television screen. The next one is Peaky Blinders, which is very, very popular in the UK at the moment. It's on Netflix, so I don't really know how internationally renowned it is, but certainly most people I know loves Peaky Blinders, and it's kind of historical as well. I mean, it's set in the early 20th century, so I guess it's historical. I just like it because it's got Tom Hardy in it, you know. Number 6 is Gavin and Stacey. That was a really shit Welsh accent, I'm sorry. Gavin and Stacey is essentially the love story of like boy meets girl, they get married, blah blah blah, but there's just so much fun along the way. It's got James Corden in it, who is now massive in America, but this is kind of before any of that happened, so he's quite young. It's just a really, really funny programme, and it shows kind of cultural differences between like the Welsh and Essex, where Gavin and his family are from, as opposed to Barry Island, which is where Stacey and her family are from, and it's just, I think there's 3 series, and there's just so many escapades and, you know, fun, and I really like Gavin and Stacey. It's a very funny programme. Number 5 for me is Broadchurch, with David Tennant and Olivia Colman, both of whom are some of my favourite actors and actresses. Like, honestly, David Tennant for me is my dream. I love that man so much. He was my favourite Doctor Who ever. He is absolutely fantastic in Harry Potter. He's brilliant in Broadchurch. And you have to watch it. It's a crime drama, this one, so this is a bit different to all the others that I've been talking about. Most of the others are comedy or historical. This is about crime. Honestly, I was gripped. You never ever see the person who did it. You don't see it coming. You don't know until kind of the last episode when it all starts tying together. And David Tennant makes a fantastic DI. Detective Inspector? I just remember he was called D.I. Hardy or something, or is that the other one? No, she was Miller and D.I. Hardy. Please go and watch that with David Tennant in it, also because he has a Scottish accent, and it's quite rare for him to actually have a Scottish accent in a programme. Normally he's English, but he's great. He's so great. Number 4 is The IT Crowd. So good, so good. I'd only seen maybe a handful of episodes before the beginning of this year, and I loved it when I was at school, but I just didn't have time to watch it really, or I just didn't make time. So when I was in Germany earlier this year, my friend Sergio said, oh, let's watch the IT Crowd, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I like it, I've seen a few. I love the IT Crowd now. Like, I've watched the whole series, all of the series through over and over and over again, because I find it so funny, and I love the Irish accent as well. So Chris O'Dowd, who plays Roy, is lovely to listen to, and Moss, who is played by Richard Ayoade, I do not know how to say his name, is a very prolific comedian at the moment in the UK. He's on most shows and he's very funny, and he also presents Crystal Maze now, so it's nice to see him acting before any of this modern kind of comedic side of him has come to light. 3 is The Inbetweeners. That is a classic British cult show for me, because it came out while I was around the same age as the 4 boys who star in it, and it was very, very kind of relevant to my life, all the things they were going through, like having sex for the first time and kind of speaking to girls and growing up and like kind of going into pubs before you were 18, those kind of things, all the things that teenagers go through, they went through and made it even funnier, and I love The Inbetweeners. I think most people I went to school with watched The Inbetweeners, so it's a classic TV show. You must have seen it. Number 2 is The Crown, also on Netflix, also historical, you know me. It follows Elizabeth II, our current queen, her life from before she was on the throne up until, I think the last series ended just after Margaret had got married and stuff, so I think kind of like the mid-50s, early 60s maybe. But it's going to carry on. They've recently cast Olivia Colman as the Queen and Helena Bonham Carter as Princess Margaret, because they wanted to move the actors on with age as opposed to just trying to make the current actors, Matt Smith and Claire Foy, make them look older. Matt Smith is amazing, by the way. Amazing. We love Matt Smith so much. It's amazing to see kind of the decadence of the royal family, the empire crumbling apart, and kind of what it takes to be queen. It's really interesting to get an insight. Obviously it's a dramatised insight, but an insight nonetheless to the queen and her life. And number 1 for me will always be number 1, Doctor Who. Sci-fi this time. This is a completely different list really to each other. I don't have a particular genre that I like, but Doctor Who combines everything for me. It's kind of magical, it's sci-fi, it goes to the future, it goes to the past, so it has history in it as well. It may not be completely correct history because they make up stories, but it's still based in a historical context, which I love. And the Doctors so far, well, since it got regenerated, see what I did there? Since it got regenerated back in the early 2000s with Christopher Eccleston, I have loved most of the Doctors since then. Christopher Eccleston was great. David Tennant is my favourite Doctor, and he always will be. He is number 1 for me, my fave. Matt Smith was a fantastic Doctor, very, very funny, brought kind of light-hearted, boyish charm to the Doctor. Peter Capaldi, not a fan of, to be honest with you. Too shouty, too old for me, which I know all the Doctors in the old series used to be really old, yeah. Okay, but for me, I didn't like it. So Jodie Whittaker, the first ever female Doctor, which there has been so much controversy over, I just think, let's see, okay? Like, yeah, the Doctor has always been a man, but Doctor Who changes all the time. So we may as well see if a woman does a good job, or if Jodie Whittaker does a good job in general, which I'm sure she will do because she was in Broadchurch as well, and she's a good actress too, so we'll give it a go, But Doctor Who and its storylines will always be my number 1 British programme, always. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have seen any of the programmes I was talking about, whether you like them, whether you dislike them, any other British programmes you guys like that I didn't mention at all. And if you have any other video ideas that you would like me to film, do let me know. Hope everybody has a lovely week, and I shall see you next Friday. Bye!